Hi guys, welcome to my channel. If you're like me, you're at the point in this game where you kind of are fed up of restarting in the Olympus raid, then stick around because I've got the perfect Ian team for you, which you can basically do in the first attempt and not have to do any restarts. That was the inspiration for my video today. There's not really much new. I will say this, thank you very much to, I believe Blaster in the Forbidden Depth server. This is his team, but I've just made sure I can always effectively taunt with Chunk before the Titan goes, so I don't have to restart. And there's a couple of other things a couple of other nuances with this team that I wanted to talk about and explain to you today. But what I've got here is a 2 to 2.5 to 3 million raid run team, which you can do very, very easily. And you know, as I said, no restarts, maximum 1 or 2 restarts per raid. It's really fantastic, and I'm just going to jump straight into the footage. Okay, so here we have the team. It's Ian, Wendy, Sally, Shank, and Chunk. The spells don't really matter. You're going to see that I don't get to use them. We've got this team here, and positioning is pretty important. I'll explain very quickly why. Shank is going to be next to Chunk. Something I found out recently, which I didn't know, I can't believe I didn't realize this earlier, but basically whenever you've got buffs on the adjacent teammates to whichever unit is going to get attacked from lava, they're going to miss. So Shank unfortunately gives herself haste. She can basically keep and extend haste on herself forever. So when the lava titan is going to basic Chunk, it's going to completely miss Shank. And the other thing is, Sally, on her passive, she also gives herself undefeatables. So if you ever happen to spawn a shadow next to Chunk, because that's what you're going to be doing with Wendy, you're going to be shadowing Sally, it's going to miss as well. You'll see in the footage, I get a little bit unlucky that the first shadow I spawn of Sally is going to be right next to Chunk, and it's not going to have an undefeatable because of turn order. That's your only restart condition, by the way, is if you actually spawn a shadow right next to Chunk which doesn't have an undefeatable, because then you're going to be relying on the Ian blind in order for the Titan to miss. But anyway, let's jump into the footage. And don't worry guys, I'm going to show you like stones and the abilities that you need maxed, as well as like which piece you might need on some of your characters, which gear 8 piece you'll need. Really sorry about the footage here. You'll see it's pretty crappy. I had to do it on low res. Right, quick stop there. So first move was Chunk going. He's the fastest. He's gonna put fear on the board, and Sally's then gonna basically be able to attack twice with her basic, landing continuous damage. And then something you might not have seen, just rewind the video if you didn't. But anyway, Shank's passive reduces turn meter. She reduces 30% turn meter. Obviously he's feared, so that's gonna land every time. And now we are in a situation where so the other thing is she lands slow, which is really, really important. It's tight. These Titans need slow in these runs in order for you to have the big, 2 million to 2.5 million runs. If you can land slow early, it means you can extend and create tons of these continuous damage debuffs, and your Ian hit is going to be much bigger at the end. But anyway, what's going to happen now is Shank is going to use I'm going to use a basic, which is going to hopefully extend the slow, because the aim here is to just have the Titan slowed all the time. So she's going to extend this slow, and if she does that as well, she's also going to extend haste on herself. Sorry, she's also going to give and extend haste on herself. So you'll see in a second, basic, 2 turns of haste, another 2 turns of slow. And that's the ideal setup, really. Now, I'll shadow Sally, unfortunately right next to the Titan, as I said, but I get quite lucky here in that the blind works in my favor. Blind gives a 50% chance of the Titan missing, and this middle ability of Shank is going to give haste, and you're always going to give that to Wendy. The reason being is because you want to get shadows out as much as possible, and Wendy can also call those shadows with her basic, so it's just a quick way of getting as many continuous damages as possible. Now, I used the Ian move quite early. Didn't really need to extend this early, but the idea is that I'm going to get another chance to use it again at the end and hopefully get crit power up. It doesn't get crit power up, I'm just going to spoil that for you. But there's always that chance to, and to be honest, it doesn't really matter. The hit is big enough for you to just kind of go with this run if you want. by all means, if you want a 3 to 4 million hit with Ian, you can restart. But I'm all about simplicity, and for me, I just want to get this run done very, very quickly, and you know, happy days, I'm done. Get my 2 million and don't need to do any more with it. I really hate restarting, guys. So yeah, there we go. We've got the haste on Wendy still. It's 2-turn haste from that middle ability from Shank, and it's just like clockwork, really. You know, you've got 3 shadows of Sally, inflicting continuous damage, up to 6 each time with the double hit. And you know, so you're just building up these continuous damages. Now I'm going to pause in a minute. Now you'll see the Titan turn order here. He's about to go, right? And I said to you that Chunk is always going to have taunt. Now the reason this works so well, and I just kind of nailed this down to an exact science, that Chunk always, it's just lucky really, but he's always going to have the taunt, and it's because of Shank's passive. You're going to see she's going to remove 30% turn meter, and then it's going to push back the Titan, and then Chunk's going to go. The great thing about Chunk is he always gives himself haste if he doesn't have taunt, so he's always going to get his taunt back quite quickly. With reduced turn meter, this is also great because it just enables your run to go on longer. Obviously, removing turn meter is the aim of the game here, really. And now Chunk's taunting again, and you know, he's just going to be the one to absorb the damage. Fortunately, he's going to throw the fireball, and it's going to kill our shadow, and that's the one, you know, as I said, that's the reason you might want to restart at the beginning of these battles, is if you unfortunately spawn that shadow close. But you know, I'm happy with the 2, and I'm going to take this run as it is. Don't be worried if Chunk dies. He's done his job. He's literally there to taunt. You're not going to need the fear as much at this point because you're going to be taking the hit with Ian soon. Now this extend was to hopefully get crit power up, but didn't. And I realised that I might have had more time to shadow, but I didn't really want to chance it. If this guy goes on his next turn, he's going to run power. It just happens for me. I'm not really sure how to keep it going a little bit further than that, but you know, as I said, I'm just happy to take the run as it is. And Ian's about to go, boom, 2.1 million, you know, for what, 4 minutes work. It's pretty good. As I said, I really don't like these restarts. It just kills my mood, really, just having to, like, you know, if you get bad RNG, and this run takes out a lot of RNG for me. It's probably not as good, like, I believe Blast has definitely done a better run than this, but as I say, I'm just aiming for that 2 million mark, and, you know, there you go, 2.4 million is not bad. I'll take that for G8 Ian. And I'm going to show you the stones and the skills that you absolutely need now. Okay, so here we go. These are your stones, and these are, you know, the little gear pieces you've got. So I already had 2 pieces on Ian, but the main one you need is this one here. It is a T9 gear piece, so if you're saving up for a downtown Ian, is obviously great. This one gives him crit power, and it's the one that makes this hit much bigger, so that's the one I would recommend. The reason Chunk starts for me is because I've got this speed stone. Now I understand that speed stones are scarce, but if you care about raids, if raids are your thing, you know, I guess it's the flagship content in this game. It's one of those where you might just have to muster up the sacrifice and go for it, but him having the speed stone and, you know, working with Shank means that he's taunting all the time. So anyway, this piece here is a speed piece, and then the rest are just G8. So Shank is the T2 stone because she might be better with a T3, but for me, I've not really found any issues with this setup. It works exactly as I want it to, so I've just left it with the T2. And now we'll look at abilities. So this first ability I wanted to show you is Sally's passive. You need to upgrade this to level 2. The reason being is she has this 20% chance to gain undefeatables. Now, as I mentioned, if you spawn a unit right next to Chunk, if it has a buff, the Lava Titan will miss with the splash damage, because obviously Chunk's going to be taunting the whole time. The great thing about undefeatables is it lasts, you know, it's one of those buffs that will stay there forever until she, you know, needs to use it, until she goes down to 1 health. So the Lava Titan is always going to miss on those basics, so this is definitely the one you want to take up, just to give you a bit of failsafe with that basic damage from the Lava Titan. Okay, next ability I want to show you is Shank. Now, you guys are probably looking at me going, why the hell am I going to get Shank up to gear 8? Now, one is because this video is awesome and I'm telling you she's worth it. But two is actually if you look at the actual the event for Wreck-It Ralph, if you get like 8 gear 8s, you get this, like, I think you get like a really awesome rewards in the final tier of prestige. So it's actually quite worth it. Enough of that. What you need to do is take her basic up to level 4. And the reason being is because, as I said, with this basic, she's either going to extend slow, so she's going to give slow, or extend it. And she hits the basic twice, so she can do it twice. And the reason you need it level 4 is because she's going to give herself haste and extend that haste possibly up to 2 times as well. So definitely take that one to level 4. Next ability you're going to want to do is take her first special up to level 3. This is the one where you're going to effectively give Wendy haste, but because if you get it to level 3, you're going to give her two slots of haste, so she's always going to be quite fast, and yeah, you keep the haste on her so you can get the shadows out very quickly. And the last one I wanted to show you is her passive, actually. Now, I don't actually, you'd actually need to like level this one up, but I just wanted to show you it anyway. This is what removes the turn meter, and this is what helps you kind of time getting the taunt on Chunk before the Lava Titan goes. And this ability has a really, like, it's actually an amazing ability. It's got a 3 magic cooldown, so you know she's got haste all the time. She's going to be using it quite a lot, and this is why you can kind of get these runs to be 2 to 4 million. So there you have it, guys. That's just my quick and easy way of getting my 2 to 3 million damage on the Lava Titan with minimal restarts. If you're like me and you're really about efficiency at this point, because I do find the raid a bit tedious, check out this video, give me a like, maybe even subscribe. I know I don't post as often, but I still am making content. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.